Professionalism and professional education. These are words highly used in Africa and across most universities in Africa. In fact, when you visit a website or a university in Africa, you will get tired of being told of the cliche that we are a professional institution and we are fostering professional education. The reality is on the ground is different in terms of the actual professionalism and professional education. The nomenclature is what we are being told what ought to be, but which is usually not what is. And if you look at our African universities, the sub-Saharan African universities hardly make their way to the top 10, 100 universities in Africa. And you ask the question, what then is the problem? Why most of our universities in sub-Saharan Africa cannot make it to the top 100 universities, even in Africa, not to talk about the universities in the world. If you look at what Professor Bernard Furlong, a revered Cameroonian scholar, made it clear in his book titled The Genuine Intellectual. In that book, he dissected what higher education is and what an intellectual is. Professor Bernard Furlong, in that his book titled The Genuine Intellectual, streamlines how a university should operate and how professional education should operate. In light with Professor Bernard Furlong, he was also looking at how the African educational system can move up to outmatch or to compete with those of the second and why not the first world. In patches of his book, he noted that a university that lacks research facility, that also don't have good library, that also don't have professional, that also don't have laboratories. He said that these universities are more like glorified secondary schools, and that if these universities don't have good playground that can promote talent of the young men and women, that if these universities don't have laboratories that can maintain research, that if these universities don't have a platform under which students can ameliorate or improve their skills and professional training, then they are more of glorified secondary school. And that brings us to the question that what then is the foundation of professional education? Can professional education be limited just at the level of higher institution? Are we missing something, or are we getting what we actually need to get? Are we not seeing that it is a different tenet from what the developed nations are doing as opposed to what the developing nation is doing? In Africa, our kindergarten are a shadow of themselves. In fact, the best we do in our kindergarten is to send our kids to those kindergartens. When we send them there, they'll go and learn how to sing song and how to recite poems and how to say their memory verse. When they are done with it, we will clap and say, oh, my child is intelligent. Then after that, we send this child to a primary school. At the primary school, what did they teach them? Who discovered the zero to India? Who attempted to sail around the world? They will teach them a lot of these issues that are not there to improve on STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And when they move to secondary schools, the next thing that they will be taught in secondary school is longitude and latitude. They will also be taught that an atom is something that cannot be created or destroyed. They will have to draw a beautiful grasshopper. They will have to draw the skin. They will have to draw the heart. They will have to draw things they have never seen, even in its form, in its prototype. They will have to draw these things. They will have to draw the eye, the cornea, to those who are doing the science. To those who are doing the art section, they will have to be told about migration. They have to be told about agricultural land use pattern in Australia, as though there is no agricultural land use pattern in Africa. They also have to be told fishing off the coast of Norway, as though there is no fishing off the coast of Limbe in Victoria in Cameroon. No, there is no fishing off the coast of Lagos. No, there is no fishing off the coast of Mombasa in Kenya. No, there is no fishing off the coast of Ghana. And the list continue. They also have to be told about Archduke Francis Ferdinand, about the emergence of the Second World War. They also have to be told about Cold War, as though we don't have that intertribal war that were fought within our African continent to discover our culture, to know how our culture operates. In the economic perspective, they also have to be told about Malthusian theory of economy and Esther Bostrop. They also have to be told about scarcity, how to define choice, about an alternative of selecting between two things. things. They also have to be told about scale of preference, about demand and supply. They have to be told about the communist system. They have to be told about the mixed market system and the capitalist system. After that, they go to the university. In the university, the story continues. There's no different. The only thing they will tell them is we are entrepreneurial. But if you look at the entrepreneurial context in it, most of those who teaches entrepreneurship in our universities don't even have a single business that they can boast of. Not to even talk of those who are teaching our kids digital marketing. They don't have Facebook pages that they have monetized or active social media platform to show that this is what we are benefiting. All what they give our kids is the lecture notes that they give our kids, and they expect our kids to come and change the world. And that is why you see we train engineers who cannot construct our roads in Africa. This is House of Commons with me, Tah Mai Jarvis. It is a month of May. On the 1st of May 2024, there was a celebration of the Labor Day. And of course, our institution could not be left out. We want to thank the management of our institution because workers that were exemplary, 3 workers that were exemplary, were not just given money, but were given plots of land. So these 3 workers were acknowledged, were honored, and they were given plots of land, not just in any place in Douala. We are talking about the economic capital of Douala, and that is to tell you that this is to show appreciation for the work that these workers have been able to do. And so we want to thank the management because gestures like this is rare. Believe me, it's rare to be seen in Cameroon, and this is what we call in human resources that it is going to improve performance of employees in the company. And also in the month of May, I want to wish you Dr. Felicita Mukong, who celebrated the birthday on the 1st of May, the Vice President of Academic Affairs, Research and Cooperation at the College University of Boya. Dr. Felicita Mukong, happy birthday, who celebrated the birthday this 1st of May, and many more years to you, Dr. Felicitas Mukong. May God continue to guide you and bless the works of your hands, as in you also have been a blessing to the lives of many, not just in the children that you're impacting knowledge on, but also in the lives of your colleagues and those whom you regularly interact with, and even those you don't know, you will shower a blessing to them. And so may God continue to bless you. And also want to wish happy birthday to you, Afo, a student of the College University of Boya, reading health science nursing. Happy birthday to you, Afo, and many more years. In the studio, we are joined by key experts who are in the field of education, and we are asking the question: can 3 years be enough for professional training? Can't we take professional training right down to the basic level so that the university will just be there to shape the views? Are we not giving much work to the university to transform fixed mindset people who have been taught from class 1 right up to upper C to cram and to memorize, now to transform this mentality? Should we even blame the universities? Is it not the time to restructure? Here in the studio, we are joined by Mr. Morgan Jute, who is a discipline master in one of our schools in Douala, that is in DAS, the Douala Academy of Arts and Science.
That's college.
Happy Sunday to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tah Mai. I am so excited to be here on this wonderful platform. It is like a dream come true. I want to use this opportunity to thank you for giving me this opportunity. I also want to appreciate my co-panelists on the other side of the table. We want to believe that our coming here this afternoon, it is to dissect some vital issues which is plaguing our educational system. I also want to use this opportunity to greet my management, my administrators of DAS College, and my wonderful wife that is back at home watching this program. We want to believe that we are going to have a wonderful time to be here this afternoon, and let us see what the topic has for us this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Also in the studio, we have Engineer Dixon, who is someone that is very, very familiar in the house. No need to introduce him again, and he is someone that has been training scores of higher education students in terms of making sure that they become engineers. He's not that kind of engineer that train engineers that cannot construct roads. He's that one that train engineers that can actually do the job. Engineer Dixon, happy Sunday and thanks for joining us.
Happy Sunday, Mr. Jarvis, and happy Sunday, my co-panelist, Mr. Mugan Jude. It's a rare privilege to share the same platform with you. And Mr. Jarvis, permit me extend a greetings to the people of the West Region. I think one of the icons of our nation, Francis Ngannou, lost their son. His tears should be our tears.
Yes,
and I really appreciate what the president of FECAFOOT did by trying to extend a hand of condolence. It shows that these are not just sportsmen, but at least they identify themselves as Cameroonian. I think when we see our elder brothers exhibiting that kind of fellowship, we just only have to follow suit, because that is the kind of Cameroon that we want to live in. A Cameroon where the tears of one is the tears of all. Yeah. A Cameroon which is made of people that are very metallic and very compassionate amongst ourselves. So I also want to say happy Sunday to the people of Kumba and my father. I hope he's watching me now. And also the people of Manfi. These are my family. Kumba Manfi happens to be my home, Mr. Jarvis. So I cannot come here without extending a hand of fellowship and greetings to them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll move straight to the program. There are a lot of provisions that were signed. The President of the Nation, President Paul Biya, on July 2023 or so, signed the policy, higher education policy document. It is a 32-page or 35-page document that streamlines the functioning of higher education system in Cameroon, and also gives the state view on how higher education should actually go. But before we look into that, I shall be asking you a question on that, and let me start with you, Mr. Morgan Jude. Yeah. We are looking at the fact that the word professional education, you are in an institution where universities constantly come to talk to students about we are professional. In context, in your own view, when you look at the word professionalism, how professional are most of our professional institutions in Cameroon?
Once again, it is a very important topic that we are handling this afternoon. Mr. Jarvis, before we talk about this topic, we should understand who is a professional and what is a professional institution. A professional, it is a highly qualified individual who have undergone a series of education and training. So it is somebody who is highly qualified in order to carry on a particular task and an educational program. Now, when you look at some of those schools that comes around and they need to talk to the students, because I am in the secondary school milieu, and the issue there is that most of them, they come and they paint something very nice about professional schools and what they offer. But there are some qualities which a professional school must obtain. There are some standards of which a professional school must attain in order for it to be called a professional school. So now when you do a background studies on those who come around and to paint their institution to be professionals, you realize that most of them don't really have that standard of which makes them to be professional institutions. Because there are some qualities that qualifies an institution to be professional institution. The environment of the institution. The environment of the institution. It is one of the most vital aspects when it comes to a professional schools. Their asset, their programs, all those things are very important. Within my milieu, schools come around from professional schools and they talk about professionalism, and at the end of the day we realize that most of them still lack some basic to be called professional institutions. And now the student, now they will come back to us, say, who can we pick, which institution can I pick? At the end of the day we will need to do a finding for them, because we have the parameters to know what qualifies an institution to be a professional institution. An institution will come around saying that they are a professional institution, but when we look at their equipment, they don't have equipment. When you look at their standard of environment, they don't have the standard. So at the end of the day now,
Quality of teachers.
the quality of teachers is missing somewhere. The quality of teachers is missing somewhere. So those are all the parameters which we have to find, and we have to look around to see into it that those who come around should meet up the standard of this professional institution. And I will bet you just few, considering the fact that the environment which they operate on, the equipment which they are having, the qualified staff which they are having, not all of them still meet their standard. So our coming here today is to make a voice, to go out there for the professional schools to know that there are a lot of things that need to be done. There are things that they have to put in place, and they have to put it rightly for us to ship this student into them. Because if I'm in a professional, if I am in a secondary school and schools are coming to me, they are coming for me to send them students. And I will not send my student to an institution that I am not sure that they can deliver rightly to those students. So at the end of the day, there is still a need for a lot to be done at the sector of our professional institution, Mr. Jarvis.
Thank you very much, Engineer Dixon. I want to get your view on this. He's asking you this question is like asking a fish, can you swim? But I'll still ask because they say a child cannot point the father's house with the left hand. So I know you may not point also the higher educational with the left hand, but I'll still ask. Yes. How professional are most of our professional institutions?
I think Mr. Morgan Jude have raised some points which I cannot throw under the table because I'm in it. Mr. Jarvis, I want to refer you to the document you made mention of, which was signed by President Paul Biya on the 25th of July 2023. Yes. It is in law, and that law defines the policy of higher education in Cameroon. Again, to tell you that even some promoters who wants to get into the business don't try to read.
70%
yes.
What is on that
I will not stand here to say what I see in higher education is something we should applaud. On the contrary, I think it is a start, but there is much work to be done to ameliorate. This policy is there. I think, in my view, before you come and knock the Ministry of Higher Education's office that you want to open a private higher institute, that is where the minister has to test whether you understand the president's vision.
That's right.
Of higher institute, which I think a part of the blame goes to Ministry of Higher Education, because they look at money. If I am to open a secondary school, I should be able to tell the minister in the document that I understand what the state has defined as policy governing that. Why am I saying this? Because school is a social enterprise which has a very powerful capability to transform an economy. So if you don't understand where the nation wants to take its or her education to, and you are getting there as a businessman thinking that you just need to get the building, get the teachers, yes, treat them anyhow, they bring the students, they make the money for you, you fly up children out of the country, you live big life, you buy cars, splash people water on the street, then I think there is a big question mark we have to place there.
That's right.
There is a big question mark, and I will not blame one party. I started by saying that if I am a Minister of Higher Education, before I can say I will come and check what you have, I will put you in front of me and ask you technical questions. There I will know the kind of vision you have for Cameroonians, because it is the state entrusting the lives of children into your hands. It's a good thing. The liberalization of higher education started in 2000. We are 14 years today since Minister Jack Famindongo put that to test, starting with the BTS. The HND only came later, I think in 2005, between 2005 and 2008. But the origin of it was the BTS, which later was the equivalent was HND. So we need to go back to the drawing board. This is 14 years. From 2000, is it? No, 24 years. Yes, 24 years. 2000 to 2024. 24 years when they started to test that policy, because the government state institutions you saw that to bring those changes into state institutions would be very problematic because all state institutions were politicized. So you needed a free environment where Cameroonians will be given the free hand to also take part in this professional training. And the professional training is well defined. Mr. Jeve, I'm pleased to take time to read that document signed by the head of state. It's well defined. Nobody can tell you that it's a charlatan system. But now there is a problem of quality assurance. Why should I say you should train a mechanical engineer when I know you don't have one equipment? Better go and train the businessman. Nothing wrong to train many software engineers, but don't get into fields where you don't have the equipment. So it comes back to what I think I'm trying to polish what my co-panelist said, Mr. Jude. When they come down to check these institutions, even if a founder says, I want to run this, take this 1 million, take this 2 million. Even if you are taking that money, we are Cameroonian, nobody sees money and say no. Do what we call it.
What do you mean that we are Cameroonian? Nobody sees money?
We are in Cameroon.
No, but what do you mean?
I am simply saying that it's well rooted. It's
well rooted.
Lobbying. We lobby. We know how to lobby. Yes. We lobby. So, but again, we should look at the future of these children. So by coming up with a checklist, the controller to come up with a checklist. They tell you, the founder, okay, this is what is missing. We'll give you up to this period to come up to date. If you don't come up to date, this is the action we are going to take. And before they come, they tell you again. Remember, last time we came, we requested for this. It will put pressure on these founders. But when they come, they disappear. Then they are hoping to come again after 10 years. A lot of damage. A lot of damage.
The lives of thousands of
That's true.
That's true. You see that? So there are many other difficulties, not just the misconceptualization of the president's vision, which is one I've mentioned. We also have if you look at that document, it talks about partnership with industries. The president has highlighted it clear, but who now has to make it happen? It's in the it's documented that companies need to accompany schools.
That is section 97 of that higher education.
Voila. Company need to accompany institutions, work together. Because the president understand that you need research to bring innovation. Then innovation teaches the youngsters. That's it.
Tax holidays.
Of course.
Companies that are in partnership with recruiting.
That's what I'm saying. But you see that even young companies, they are just so close. You approach them, it's like the whole thing is it's a whole court behind the gate. They don't know that it's of their advantage to open their gates to young Cameroonians and then talk with schools, so schools can define clearly the objective of that internship, because each internship has an objective.
That's true.
In the engineering, we have observation internship, where the child just have to see how the industry is and it motivates the child. Then we have what we call initiation internship, where the child has to analyze, to test the child's critical thinking by defining problems that he has identified. And then we have what we call the work placement now. There the child is supposed to apply certain principles acquired in some courses to solve the problems identified. So you see, these are various stages. So companies themselves don't even understand that schools have these stages of internship. So when they hear internship, they don't know internship is internship. Then they'll take a child, they keep in one small office. They are sending the child, go and make me tea, go and buy me envelope, go and give me the child card. That child spent 2 months in that company, has not achieved any objective. And these are people, they must not go and replace them
in future.
See, I think the head of state have not really outlined clearly what is coming. If you don't know, there is a big market that has been opened between Cameroon and China, and it's still covered, because if that market opens, most of these companies that are being like, they will be shocked. You will see partners coming in, opening companies. You were shutting their company, refusing to train Cameroonians, and now these companies will come and will bring workers from outside. So you who were there before, you cause damage. So in the objective of this policy, it talks about local content development. I think if these dams that the head of state talk about goes through, energy production will be high. Once energy production will be high, we will start seeing the proliferation of industries. Now, are these children ready to take over? That is the question. Because these companies that are existing, they feel like we are training these children to come and take over their position. No. What is coming, they can't see.
But also, they have to also understand that there is what we call continuity.
Exactly.
That's right. Continue.
They will take over. Not even take. They will not continue in that company. They will take over. What I'm telling you will happen 15 years from now. They will take over. You will see young children coming together, going to China, get equipment, setting up their industries. It will happen. So if these companies don't start seeing these children as people they can mentor, people they can train. I love what Tony Olomelo is doing in Nigeria. Wonderful job. Taking you from all over the country. You don't say I'm a banker, I can't train bankers. No. He trains you, give you the skills, and give you small money. Not that you must come and work with him. No. So our companies in Cameroon needs to have a broad vision on how they operate. Because we are watching them.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Mr. Jude.
Yeah, Mr. Jarvis.
I want us to now look at this concept, professional education. He had made mention about the head of state vision. But now at the secondary school level, should we look at professional education just at the level of universities? Are we not failing here?
Now, Mr. Jarvis, I will say that the sector under the secondary school system that has really catched this vision is the technical commercial system. The technical commercial system. I can say that it is at the level of the technical commercial system whereby students start having a vision or a mindset of what they really want to impact the economy with. Because recently we had under the commercial system of technical education, we had accountancy and we had business studies. But for the past 4 years or so, the program was changed at the point whereby we now have TVE, technical vocational exams. So as to say that the commercial student, they don't longer write the GCE, but they write by the TVE, technical vocational exams. And from this stream, we can now pick out professionals. We can raise professionals from this sector. So the commercial field of studies is becoming more vision oriented based on what they are raising up at the level of secondary school. We still have the art and the science student that somehow they are still dangling, but the commercial section, they are already understanding what they really want to get at the level of impacting the economy. Now, what do I mean by TV? Technical vocational system, it is a system whereby at the level of Form 5, students are going for internship. Students are already going for internship. That means those exams. They are already going for internship, just like my colleague was saying. And we have companies that have embraced the vision. And they are helping us to see that we send them these students, they impact the students, they start raising up professionals from them. So professionals are not only being raised by higher institutions. From the secondary school level, you can start raising up professionals.
From the technical
commercial, it's already there. It's something
which means that
it's already going on.
Which means that schools that carry out commercial and technical,
they are already going out.
It means that from 5 levels,
they are already going out for internship. Yes, I am handling some courses, product mastery and sales method and communication. Some months back, my student went out for internship. So, because that is one of the requirements for their TVE exams. There will be a part of practicals whereby they will undertake the practicals, and the part of the internship now will be tied up with the practicals. Now they will receive a score on that practicals. So at the level of the commercial and technical industrial, the vision is becoming clearer on the professionalism there at the level of secondary school.
Now the problem now is at art and science.
Art and science. You will not imagine that art students at the level of upper state, they are still mixing subjects. They don't know what they really want to do. You see somebody doing French, geography, economics, a mix-up subject because they are still dangling.
Just to pass their advance.
They just to pass their advance now. When they pass their advance, it's like a new world will open in front of them. But at the level of technical, industrial, and technical commercial, the student at the level of Form 5, they already know, okay, if I'm going in for marketing, I know that these are the courses which I do under marketing, product mastery, sales method, digital marketing. Those are my 3 major subjects. Then you have related subjects like economics, commerce. They have now compulsory subjects, which are like the French, English, and those are general subjects. Now when you climb up now to the level of advanced level, it continues. It continues. Now the level of advanced level now, you still go for another internship. So you realize that at the level of the technical, commercial, and the technical industrial,
the state has actually streamlined
yes,
policy.
They have worked on that, and it's something which is very, very important. Now, Mr. Jarvis, when we are talking about raising up professionals, the teachers that are handling these students, they too need to know if they are professionals.
That was where my
yes.
second question was going to come.
Yeah. They too need to know if they are rating up professionals, because you cannot be a professional and the way you dish out your lesson, there is no professionalism in it. Yes, dishing out your teachers. Yeah, you just stand and you read. If they understand, they understand. They don't understand, that is not your business. No. And you just sign the carry text and you just feel it, and at the end of the day, you want that they should pay you. No. We have the competence-based approach. That's the competence approach. Yeah, the competence, which is the approach whereby the student, even though they're inside the class, they should start seeing what they will be facing outside there. You will not be a teacher and call yourself a professional whereby you are teaching product. Like one of my topics that I handle, product. You are teaching product and you don't come with product in class. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. The competence-based approach gives you the ability for you to bring out the image and the picture of what you are teaching. The students should have the ability to see what you are teaching, so that when they go outside there, they should have the ability to implement it. So, if we are talking about professionalism here, the system of the secondary school, gradually the commercial, they have caught the vision, the industrial, they have caught the vision. There is still a lot to be done at the level of the science and the art.
Yeah, and that is the department that has the majority.
And I will struggle to know that most students run to the science student whereby they are not even prepared.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's what it's a mentality.
It's a system. Yes, it is. Are in the science. So, but at the end of the day, the government should see how to let professionals from the secondary school levels. Let the students start seeing what they'll be facing out there when it comes to the job market.
I think that will also be determined by the training of teachers to come and teach in secondary schools, because which will mean that they have to restructure the economic curriculum, whereby it's not just people. For example, you talked about but he talked about the TVC, technical vocational
education
exam, right?
Yeah, the
now,
TVE.
Let's take the TVE for example. TVE. There, you talk about digital marketing.
Yeah.
Those who are also teaching digital marketing,
yes.
How many of them even have Facebook pages that are monetizing?
And you said that in your outline.
Yeah,
because the truth is just few of them.
Yes.
Yeah, just few of them have that page. Yeah.
And they have read
like bloggers. Just few they have
blogs.
Yeah, just few they have blogs. So that is what we are talking about. It should start at the level of the training. So it should start at because if we are to raise professionals here, it should start at the level of training. The teachers first, the professors first, before now they know what to impact the students.
Yes. Mr. Jarvis, I don't know, but I understand that you are trying to raise a very strong point.
Not right.
So, Mr. Morgan has really displayed mastery of pedagogy, which is something I should appreciate from any teacher of secondary school. But pedagogy don't just end at secondary, because I think before we close, I will get to give some key points which I've highlighted.
Okay.
The points that characterizes a professional education and how we can professionalize the educational system of Cameroon. We have the objective-based approach, which is what we're using before.
Yeah.
Then the CPA came. Then we also have the PBL, the problem-based learning approach, which is common in the engineering disciplines, where we bring real-world problems to class and we put the students in groups, they brainstorm, and they come out with proposed solutions, and then we make them work on the solutions which they have proposed. That is called a problem-based learning approach.
Okay.
So I think that yes, the teachers and lecturers must be trained, not just in the mastery of the subjects they want to administer, but in the pedagogy of the administration of these subjects. Because I've had cases in a university, when I was still with the Catholic, you don't go to class without a progression sheet.
That's right.
before you go to class, you show your dean the plan of how you're going to deliver the course for the semester. Once you hand that document, then you are given the authorization to get to class. So then now the quality assurance team can follow up to see if the content of the course that you break down in your outline were handled. And it is evaluated even at the level of exams. So these are little trainings. So what I'm trying to say, it doesn't necessitate to take somebody in because he says he's a doctor or go to class. No, there's some basic pedagogic training that they have to go through. We go through it. I went through it. So I didn't just leave engineering training, leave the industry, and I went to class. No, there is a way in which you deliver your course, and when you master the pedagogy approach, you discover that course delivering becomes very easy. It's not boring. Their plan is in your brain before you get to class.
That's true.
No child can dribble you because even the child know this is what we're supposed to do today. Let me not rush.
That's true.
You see that? And again, the document which we have, I can summarize the objective of professional higher education into 3. Number 1 is local content development. Number 2 is bilingualism.
Multiculturalism.
Bilingualism and multiculturalism. It is there in the policy. It is in the policy, in the law.
I think let me look at the section. I saw it.
It is under the objective of the policy, and we have excellence in specialized knowledge. Okay. So again, the technical education is something that just came up. I mean, the English section.
All right.
The technical education, I have my senior man, he did technical education at that time. Even though all the sophatis, they had only French teachers. You hear a teacher say, you take the trajectoire, you put in the tambour. Can you imagine how they studied? If you take that's a teacher teaching. So it was bad. They were facing difficulty. So the revolution that is happening now, I think we should applaud. But my prayer is that it should not create a large divide. I think that was one of our topics, the divide in the educational system. Because whether you come from the English subsystem of education or the French, is the same opportunity that is in front of you.
That's right.
So the same reality. So how can we position the two systems in such a way that we are not saying this one is better, this one is not, no, but that everybody from each system can have equal opportunity in the job market, in entrepreneurship, or in whichever milieu that you want to employ yourself to serve the nation. So I think as technicians, that should be the debate. If we find ourselves in conferences, we should tell our leaders, our professors, we should try to see into it that there is no much disparity, even though the disparity can come only at the level of language, because that's something we cannot force. That's our identity. Cameroon has English and French, which have equal status. So we can't play with that. It is enshrined in our constitution. But now when it comes to our training,
and also in that policy document, in that policy document was reiterated that the equal status.
Yes. So it's enshrined in our constitution, but we just need to make sure that what is good in the English system, we can adapt it in the French system. Meaning, if a child is studying electrical engineering in the English system, electrical engineering in the French system, we can harmonize the practicals. So a child who have done the English system, when he is playing with equipment, the one in the French system already understands. Not that when the child from the English system meets the child of French system, then they start seeing like they too much disparity, like he's empty, this one knows more.
That's right.
So that is the fear. That is a fear as professional that I'm seeing. And if we don't harmonize, and another thing I'll tell you is that we have National Order of Engineers in Cameroon. But you believe me, our French brothers, our English brothers are scared to become part of these orders.
But maybe also the procedures for them to join.
The procedure is open. They are not interested.
Because this doesn't. The question we should also be asking: this National Order of Engineers.
Yes.
How much coordination are they working with other institutions that train engineers? Because a child will leave probably a state university. Let me use the University of Wales example.
Yeah.
And the child has done, has actually graduated with a degree in engineering.
Yes.
And they will tell you that, okay, let me not use state university, let me use private university. Private universities are being mentored by state university.
Of course.
Which means that the degree granting body of that private university, it is a state university.
Of course.
A child leaves state university, a private university, with a degree in chemical engineering, cannot be admitted by that national order, because the national order claims that that school, they don't recognize
it is very
that school.
It is very correct.
Signed by the same government.
Yeah, I think
university under that policy document.
we should use this opportunity to educate Cameroonians.
Yeah, that's very necessary.
It's not a bone of contention.
It is.
Okay, no, it's not a bone. I will explain. These orders are there, authorized by the head of state to regulate the activities of engineers. Okay. Now, if you want the same way you went there, many universities also, you have your private university, you choose what I want to go to Douala for mentorship.
Yes.
It's not the state telling you that you must go to Douala. No, you say I want to go to Douala. I want to be mentored by Marwa. Okay, when you go to Douala has its requirements now. Provide this document, and they have their procedure for that to happen. Boya is having her own procedure. Bamenda has, all the universities have. So what I'm trying to say, the private higher institutes, they should not be looking at accreditation from one angle. You have your curriculum, true. This curriculum have been adopted by a state university. It has been accredited by a state university. It doesn't stop you from taking that same curriculum to a national order.
Are we not duplicating?
You are not duplicating.
Maybe I'll leave you to learn.
You are not duplicating. For example, if we say civil engineer, we have schools like Polytechnic Maroa, we have École de Travaux, and Polytechnic Yaoundé. You see that? These order have gone through the programs. They have made their own recommendation as pertaining to what happens in the field and what they want included in the program. Just like you are not duplicating program. You just want them to recognize the program. Once they recognize the program, they accredit it, they recognize you automatically.
Let me ask my question now.
Okay.
You have still not answered what I... Now, the policy document,
yes,
was signed by of higher education. Who signed it? President Public.
It's the head of state.
That policy document states that no private university has a right to grant a degree.
Yes.
The degree granting body is supervised and controlled by state universities.
Actually, it's a state. It's stated that it's a state that grants university through Ministry of Higher Education. Even the state university are just channels.
It's a state.
Yes.
Now, also, there's a provision that also talk about, that's section 68.
Yes.
That also talk about supervision and inspection, and also talk about how a school can be punished, closed down, or ceased
if they don't align. Yeah, the government has right to take over the school,
or take over, or create a caretaker
for the school
management.
Exactly, the government have those powers.
Now, a private institution, having respected all the laws of the state, including a university, whose program are being controlled by a mentor university, and the mentor university, which is supervised by the state, grant an engineering certificate to a candidate.
Yes.
And the national order comes and say, because you do not bring your curriculum to us to supervise, we will not admit that child. Are you not saying rubbishing that same degree which they have? Because that provision does not give the private institution the powers to be mentored by the national order. It says you must follow the state. Are we not rubbishing this head of state?
Okay, Cameroon is not the only country that such a thing is happening.
That's my question.
Yeah, I'll take what pertains. I will take what pertains in the Western countries. Whether you study in which university, there are professional exams you write to practice. I'm coming. There are professional exams you write. If you take the constitutions of some of these orders, I think I will look for one and send to you. Their own requirements are there. These are the people that sometimes the government send them to supervise certain things.
Who give them the mandate?
It's the president, the head of state.
Good. Now let me come. You are looking at other universities in other states. if we have to look at this, we also have to look at their constitution on other issues.
Okay.
We are functioning, I'm asking my question, within the parameter of Cameroon, the bi-jurial and the bicultural, not how other states function. If other states function, it means that their constitution probably has changed the system with their private educational function. Because their private education, if you look at what is happening in the US and the rest, they mustn't go through the mental universities.
Okay. Mr. Jarvis,
now you see that comes in.
We have the Bar Association.
Yes.
The Bar Association regulates the practice of law.
Lawyers.
Law in Cameroon.
No, lawyers.
Okay.
Lawyers.
The activities of lawyers.
Lawyers.
In Cameroon, I'm coming.
Yes.
So, you have a student who have been issued a law degree.
Yes.
By the state.
Yes.
Why can't that student not just go to a chamber?
Good. It's the same. That child can't become a lawyer, but that child can work in legal
matters. Yes.
Legal matters. That's different from the training of an engineer, because that child is going to bar, and the bar exam is organized by the state, not by the bar.
Okay. Anyway,
there is a state, is the bar is just there as an advisory.
If we labor too much on this, we will deviate from our.
We are not deviating, because there are a lot of students who are facing this issue in the engineering sector, who have been graduated, have the engineering degree, but cannot be called into the national order of engineering under the BS that they are illegal, that they are trained by schools that are not recognized by the national order, of which these same schools have been accredited by the Ministry of Higher Education as supervised by the Ministry of Higher Education. They seem like the bar is the Ministry of Justice that called the bar exam.
Anyway, there are two ways you can join the national order. Let me explain. No, let me explain. They should not feel marginalized. There are two ways. If you today decide to open an engineering firm, you are not an engineer, you are a business person also, but you have recruited engineers. You can register that firm in the national order, that institution in the national order. Now, if you want to get in as an individual, the first prerequisite, you should have an engineering degree and some years of experience. If you are coming from these schools that don't have direct affiliation with the national order, so your number of years of experience qualifies you. If you can prove that, documented, that you practice with this firm, you practice with this firm, you practice with this firm, you will be admitted. So it's not a big deal.
It is. It's really a big deal, because some people have hijacked it and using it for their own financial gain. And the sad reality is that the chairperson of this is someone who is coordinating a higher institution, a state institution, and mentor other these private universities and still abrogate what the law states. This one says, good afternoon to you guys in the studio. We must change our system of education from nursery to PhD. That is from theory to practicals. 60 years after independence, we are still studying useless things in our schools. What do we intend to achieve with our present school programs theory? Why do big people send their children abroad? They know we are not studying the right things here in our country. I am afraid of Cameroon. I'm afraid Cameroon is heading to doom. This is coming from Edwin Winker from Fumbot. Edwin Winker from Fumbot. This one says, happy Sunday, fellow panelists. My best view, I see that our professional institutions are based on money-making mindset. Most of them don't even have space to carry out practical programs. The curriculum have not been made practical. All they teach is theory, making students to live with no creating skills. Dixon Niba writing from Wututu in Limbe. This other one right, it's a greetings to the house. This is coming from Da Vinci. Thank you very much. This other one right, it says, hello sir, good day. Hope you all are fine in Cameroon. Any institution not owned by the government consider themselves to be professional regardless of their requirements. Now, let me come to you. He has raised a very important issue, and the issue that he raised is the aspect of the fact that the problem-based learning approach. Are you talking about the competent-based learning approach, which is at the level of the secondary education? Now, my question now to you is that what are the areas that you think the state can now harness to induce professionalism for those people at the level of the science and art, because the science and art are the majority students. If you look at the GC, but
That's
they
right.
are not the people who have a bit of professionalism. Just few schools also have laboratories in the science department. Most of them don't have dummies like for the skin. They still draw. They still draw the skin. They still draw the eye. They still draw
They don't
the
have
eye.
mannequins.
They don't have mannequins.
Yeah,
Most of these
yeah,
institutions.
sure. All right, Mr. Jarvis, thank you once again. At the level of the secondary schools, you just asked a question that what can the state do? The truth is the state should go back to the ground level to really know what is happening in these secondary schools. Just like my colleague said, on the same thing that happens with the professional school, the higher institution, sorry, is the same thing that happens with the secondary school based on the start-up. Somebody will just get up tomorrow and
I want to own a school.
and I want to own a school. So at the end of the day now, the person that will just patch something somewhere and tap it to
Collecting
secondary
money.
and high school, start collecting money. And now that school has been accredited that the school should go operational. But based on what they are having, they cannot meet up to the standard. And before you even talk about science and art, with the art, we can say they may not need so much of practicals, but at the level of science, whereby you start talking about dealing with human lives.
Yes.
Dealing with human lives, there
You
is
need the
a
gadgets.
need that you should have a well-organized program. Now, what can the state do? First, there should be a constant check on if those schools have what they are or what they are saying outside it. Because most schools, when they go to primary school, they will tell them we have a good lab, we have a very good science lab, a very good laboratory, but at the end of the day, they don't have it. So the state should go back and check most of those secondary schools. Do they have the quality to run a science section? It is not a problem to start with what you can dish out very well. But most schools want to start by offering all the streams whereby they are defect. Now the next thing is, if you are running a science program, you should have the ability to have a good science laboratory. A very good science laboratory. And those laboratories should be well equipped with standard facilities. Because it is those laboratories whereby the student will go in and know that, okay, if I combine this and combine this, I will have this. But if they keep doing the theory in class, at the end of the day, when they enter the real life, they will not know what they ought to know when they were in school. So now, what am I saying here? The state have a lot to do at the level of the art and the science. At the level of the commercial, I already said it, work is being done on it. At the level of the art and the science, they should have a defined program. Because I don't know what a student is doing, why a student is doing French, economics, history, a mixed up subject. And the child will tell you, I just want to pass and I just want to go to university. It starts from them having a good defined program. If you are in art class, a good defined program. What do you want to do after this art program? Do you want to follow law? Do you want to follow music? Do you want to follow this? What do you want to do? Cinematography, all those things. Then from there, you structure a program whereby if somebody says, okay, I want to follow law, you start knowing how you can attach the person to what is outside there in the field of law. I think that will go a long way to help. Now, when it comes to the science field, if a person is doing science, good, you have a good lab. But once a while, it is not a problem to take them on a campus visit. A hospital visit. Let them visit the hospital. If it's a clinic, let them visit a clinic. They can start from there. I believe this will go a long way to help. Yes, it will go a long way to help. It will shock you to know that there are science students that don't know where the general hospital is. In Douala here, they are in Douala. They are doing science, but they have never been to the general hospital. Once a while, you take them on a visit like that, let them know how the general hospital look like. Let them know some components, some things which are being used in the hospital. That will go a long way to define their program. So the state can do something like, the state can do a lot based on the fact that they can take the children, they can draw a program whereby children can have a hospital visit. You go for a hospital visit and they visit the hospital. If you're an art student, if you are doing cinematography, you should know the state can draw a program whereby they should have places that they can visit to have an insight of what they're studying in class. So there is a lot for the state to do.
Now, let's come back to the level of training that the secondary schools are giving. Yeah. Let us look at the aspect in extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
How much energy do they even put in extracurricular activities?
Mr. Jarvis, based on the high competition that we have for the level of secondary school, you know, when we were growing up back then, we knew of inter-school competitions. Yes, but based on what the high competition that is going out there, it is a pain to know that it is gradually dying down.
Yes.
I don't know if you have noticed it. It is gradually dying down, and that is one of extracurricular activities.
Which is part of professionalism.
Which is part of professionalism, yes. It's gradually, because the competition out there based within the secondary school milieu is becoming to a point whereby schools don't want to...
FENASCO games.
Yeah, yes. At the level of FENASCO, it's at the level of the government, right? FENASCO games at the level of the government, right? Which that one, schools are obliged to. Some schools, you must go through that one. By the level of inter-school competition, whereby we can just decide that, okay, schools within this area, we can launch a competition among ourselves. It is dying down, and that also is a problem, because that extracurricular activities is not there. Now I'll tell you, you cannot run extracurricular activities when you have a small campus. There are type of activities that you cannot carry on,
which is also part of the requirement to create a school.
Yes,
you must have a playground.
A playground. These are things which we that's why I said that the government need to go down and check a lot of things. There are some activities whereby you need space. You need space. You need the right things to be put in place in order to carry out that activity. There are some activities whereby, like sport, like football. Some secondary schools, students go there but they can't play football, because they don't have the space, they don't have the facility. So extracurricular activity is very good, but the level of secondary school is down because some of them don't have the space and the facilities.
Okay, Engineer Dixon.
Yeah.
On the policy document of higher education, provision of section 97 is which states that it outlines the duty of a teaching staff. Now I want to look at my question now to you. Let me read the section before asking these questions and see whether that is being applied. It says income generating activities, including through the creation and the management of innovative companies and marketing research. How many institutions or colleagues of yours actually participate in income generating activities and also network with companies and in terms of getting research done?
I think much is being done in that area, but not satisfactory. It's not satisfactory. Schools are now creating, some of the schools I work with, I will not call names for publicity reasons. We have what we call boot camps. And during some of these boot camps, companies are invited to see what students have done so far. So it's not enough, but at least it's the beginning. They start. But again, it shouldn't be something for few schools. It should be something that cuts across all schools, because the head of state has given the go-ahead for universities to become educational enterprises, whereby they can set up their factories. In that factories, they will produce and as well train students. To me, is a big win, but many founders, like I said, don't even take time. You go to seminars, bring document, you give them, they don't read. When you want to even try to explain to them, they look at you like this man want to open another avenue to get money. You know, not knowing that you are actually trying to see that the head of state's vision is attained. Because at the end of the day, we are the same people who will say he's doing no work, but he is there as a policy maker. He's a politician. Once he makes policies, all the technicians must make sure that those policies are being realized.
That's right.
So he's the vision bearer. We just have to act accordingly to see into it that all the other parties make sure that the vision is attained. But if one school is doing an effort, the other schools are out collecting money, insulting the state, working with partners abroad to fly out all our youths.
Yes, because most of the
all the youths want to travel.
Most of the campaigner, if you school with us, you can travel.
1 year you travel out. And remember the speech of the head of state on the 31st of December 2023. as a big man of the house of this nation, when he says something, look at you with double glass, because he has said something that he has seen. He said, as you people are going, I will not stop you, but know that you are creating way for foreigners to come and do what?
Work in your country.
To take your jobs. And you think he's joking. It is happening. All the small averies that our brother Nigerians are taking it. Pressing. Cafeterias. It's not Cameroonians are doing it again in Douala. You see the people from Central Africa, they are the one doing it. The bike riders, many of them are not Cameroonians, they are from Chad. So, but he is a Pan-Africanist. The Africans are our brother, who cannot chase them away. But he's simply trying to say that you are saying you are rushing, leaving your country to go and do menial jobs in somebody else's country. Those same jobs are here, which you can do and build the economy of your nation. You are allowing strangers are rushing from their own country, coming to your country, and they are making their livelihood.
We understand this, that instead of universities to train professionals that can be used in Cameroon, these universities are trying to train professionals and marketing them out of Cameroon.
That's brain drain.
They don't have the policy document.
They don't have the policy document, and even when President Pobia talk about Vision 2035, many people don't understand. I'm saying that the only thing that is lacking now is the energy. He has given assurance that there will be energy 2024. I'm waiting to see, because I'll come back here if that energy don't come. They said 2024. Yes, same 30. Yeah, January 2025. We have to check if the dams are operational, because yes, he is the father of the nation. He has asked us to wait. We should be patient. We want to see reliable energy supply. We can't get angry now. We'll be patient. But if it doesn't come by January, we'll make some noise. We'll make noise. Because we need that energy for industrialization.
That's true.
So when we are training these children, all these children need is the mindset. Mr. Jarvis, let me tell you the truth. We have machines. When we talk of a 21st century engineer, it's not the one that you used to have, one that will be digging with the hand. No. Because machines are there that can do those jobs. There's even a machine that can build a house. As we are talking now. So what then is the role of an engineer? The engineer is a coordinator. The engineer is the one that can bring to life the vision of the client. When you want to build a house, you say, I want a roof that has butterfly wings. That's the roof you want. You want something identical. It is now the job of the engineer to go and make that happen.
And make sure that it meets the geographical
of that place. Like you have the Burj Khalifa. Yes. The people of Dubai just say, I want a building that exists nowhere. That's the division of a class that does not exist.
You have to ensure the safety.
You have to, and of this height, it should be the tallest in the world. That's the what your client wants. You are the one to go and sleep. So what can I propose to this man? You see now where the engineer comes in, the creativity. You now come now with about 3 or 4 proposals. Say, boss, we can try this one, this one, this one. When he finishes that, since he's the one who developed that proposal, automatically is the one who understands the structural dimensioning and analysis of the structure. Right. So he is in better place to coordinate the construction. Not that he is the one again that will go there and be digging the hole. There are bulldozers for that.
That's true.
Not that he is the one who will go and be mixing the concrete. There are concrete mixers for that. All these things have machineries. So engineer necessarily now is not necessarily not that one that will be mixing, but someone who has very sharp-edged mind view of critical thinking, seeing things and having imaginary minds that can bring ideas to image. That's and then construct them to life. Yeah. That's an engineer.
That's right.
Thank you. I'll take on some of these other messages. This one says, thank you very much for this enlightening program. I think that we don't have professional institutions in Cameroon. All of them are charlatans hiding on the guise of professional education. My question to you is, how much equipment do they even have? The thing is, they should limit their professionalism at the level of the business world. Then we can say that they are professional. But even at the level of the business world, you have people teaching human resource when they have never acted as a human resource professionals to see the challenges and to see how it can be done. Most of their human resources end with theories and with lecture notes, and they should know that practicals is different on the field. Sometimes you cannot get this on the field. Thank you very much. This is coming from Amdu right. This other one right, it says good afternoon, members of House of Commons. I love the program. This is very much educative. My only contribution is that Cameroon need to restructure their educational program, especially at the level of primary school level. During your editorial, you talked about the aspect of kindergarten. Do you know that our own kindergarten, we teach you how to go and say, I have a head on my head, what can you see? Whereas in China, as you made mention, they are there, they are trying to cook, they are trying to build, they are trying to carry out equipment, and that's why I see Chinese producing more. I thank you very much for your editorial. The editorial was a summary of today's program, which kept me thinking and asking myself that must we be sending our children to kindergarten to go and say their rhyme or to go and say their memory verse? Why can't we try a different approach or even introduce them into sport at that early stage? This is coming from Lucas writing from Yaoundé. This is all right. He says thank you. My question is that, are we so stupid not to see that these people cannot provide us professional training? The only professional training that we shall have is when President Biya shall go, because his ministers will only go and be taking money from these schools and be giving them permission to operate, even without knowing where they are located. Go to Douala, look at where these professional schools are located. Some in a small corridor, and they are singing professional education. You go to their website, you feel like it's London on earth. But let me just shock you that most of these, especially those in Bonaberi, they are not even qualified to be a distinguished secondary school in America. That's harsh. This one says, happy Sunday to you. I love your program. Say hi to Morgan and also your engineer. You guys have made my Sunday. I really like to see young men talking about education. If this is how it was being done before, then we would have emerged. But the issue now is, these young men are talking with intellectual issues. Will the state even look at what they are saying and incorporate what they are saying? Because what they are saying is something very, very important. But will the state consider it? For the best of my knowledge, the state will not.
Keep crying. Keep crying.
Those are people who have sent us WhatsApp, normal text message. Let me take on this WhatsApp message. It says, good afternoon, Jarvis. Your panelists say Cameroon should rather stay behind and work in a car washing point or sell a restaurant rather than going out of the country. He should be ashamed of I'm not sure that was what you meant.
That's not what I meant, though.
Throw more light on it. Because you are now being taken out of context.
I'm telling you. I see my dear brother probably is even planning to leave the country if somebody can be that angry. But I think I should tell him blatantly clear, if you cannot be a crocodile in your country, never expect to be a lizard in another man's country. Let the power of currency not deceive you. It's true, you can get to UK today, you make money which when converted to CFA will become much money that can settle you faster. But again, the how long is it going to take you and the transfer process for all of that to happen? You know, I think we should learn from our big brothers. All of us have people who have traveled out of the country from each of our families. These guys have made money, but ask yourself, do they have life? The money is not all that matters. Sometimes when
the young girls who leave Cameroon,
sometimes when I look at some of my elders who have left the country, think they make the money, but when they come by and look at them, you feel like something about them is missing. They appear like strangers in their own hometown, which is something I feel very pitiful about. Because sometimes they go. So my point is, you can start from somewhere as a young man. Traveling should not always be that ultimate. Not everybody should travel. So traveling, to me, I view traveling like blood. You go to the hospital, they take blood from your body, right? So if youths are traveling out of a country, that's what is virtually happening. To me, we should be addressing the issues that can limit the rate of traveling. I went to secondary schools. I told you this one time. All students in A levels, opposites. What would you like to do after school? Travel. Is that normal?
Even parents are sending their children to university just because they want them to reach a certain age.
Is that normal? The whole country is traveling.
Everyone wants to travel.
It's not normal. It's not something we should applaud. So if there is a problem, that's what I'm saying. As youth, we should talk about the problem. The house is not good. Why is the house not good? Who are those making the house uncomfortable?
All the students that get to
They want to
go to secondary schools to prospect. When you go to secondary school, you ask opposite, how many of you here want to travel abroad? Everybody, and they will ask you, does your university has opportunity for us to travel abroad?
So he should not get me out of context. I am saying that people are going out because it's not good, and I'm happy that the head of state made mention of it. So if he's made mention of it, then we now need to take it or make some noise so that the policymakers at the helm of affairs should loosen up some of the knots. And as in this very program, I've even complained that sometimes you even have your 3 million to start a business, the council people disturb you, the tax people disturb you. We need to be saying these things for the central government to understand that not all Cameroonians want to live, but those who want to stay and want to do business in this country, it should be made feasible for them. Yes. That's my point I'm making.
The issue is a lot of Cameroonians also don't know they are right, because, for example, young startups don't know that if they recruit graduates from universities below the age of 35, they will benefit from tax holiday for at least 5 years, as stipulated on that policy document signed by the
head of state,
on July 2023, that companies that can establish an open-ended contract with university graduates below 35 years will benefit from tax exemption for 5 years.
Exactly.
But now, some of them actually open this company and recruit this person, but they don't know that there is a law that exists like that, which they cannot file.
You file to the tax people.
The tax people.
I've respected this. These are the number of. That's it. And you follow up your case with your lawyer. Nobody will just come and exempt you. People don't know what you do. You tell them. You tell them. This is what I'm doing.
Okay, Greetings House. I don't know why during the pedagogic seminar the inspectors will talk on content-based approach CBA, but GC questions don't relate to CBA. GC questions don't relate to competent-based.
He should react.
I don't know the angle of which he is shooting.
He's saying that, for example, he's saying that you talked about competent-based approach, which is good.
Yeah.
But he says when the inspectors come to seminar, they also talk about competent-based approach. But the GC questions that these students are writing, the questions are not related to competent-based approach. It's a standard theory part that is being asked. First memorization.
Yeah, that's it cuts across the subject and the topic. I can put it that way, because there are subjects like history. All right, that's why like history that there seems to be more theoretical.
But there can still be a context.
Yes, you understand why. If I should go back a little bit at the level of the commercial, most of the questions fall within that line. There is a case that you have to solve.
Case study.
Especially
accounting.
While a case study, you hear question like
so you should be more specific on the subject.
Yeah, you should be specific on the subject, because there is a case that you have to solve. You hear question like you have been employed as a marketing director in Brazzaville, and your objective is to raise sales from 8% to 10%. Considering the factors which you have to take into consideration, like the product life cycle, you have to take into consideration like advertisement, all those things. Now they give you a case that you have to solve.
They give you tasks now.
They give you task. Voila.
Carry out this task.
Carry out all those tasks. So it cut across the subject and the topic. So it is good that he should be specific on the question that is asking, because the truth is most of the question under the commercial fee, it is competence based. You must solve a problem. There is a case.
But now the question is, should competence based now only be limited to commercial?
No.
What of the science?
It cuts across.
Yeah,
but that's why he needs to be specific.
Yeah, okay. If let me just play the devil's advocate here.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that applicable in the science GC that they write?
At the level of the science, I'm not really that sure.
In physics,
I wrote science.
In physics is there.
If they have
even before CPA came, physics had been doing CPA.
Yes, but in physics it may, but in biology it is not, but which ought to be, because those who are asked to do dissection, for example, those who are asked to do dissection, they are not. They don't ask. They don't give some theoretical, some practice which you must assume before carrying out that dissection. Like you talked about the fact that high schools should be able to send their science students to hospitals. Definitely. Now, if you have to dissect, what are the things I have to consider? They have to give you those questions that before you is this animal. Now, for you to carry out this practical, this, that. Because there are some issues that have been done in theater before you have been done. Next of kin, you fill some documents, you do some kind of things. Also, those who are also supposed to come for, let's say you have a heart issue, maybe to look at heart issue. If you have to explain the heart, what are those issues that are practical in this? Maybe somebody has started feeling problems in the chest. The person may easily say it's a heart problem, which is not a heart problem. What are those things that you consider to eliminate this?
Yeah. So at the level, so you see that it cuts across the various subjects. Just like as I said, some subject they apply it very well. Why some subject they don't apply it to the latter.
We are almost out of time. We have about just some 6 minutes or so. Let me come to you, engineer. There is an issue where you talked about the fact that universities can come together and see how they can independently join their strength. And I'm sure you talked about this
2 weeks ago.
Yes.
2 weeks ago.
Now, in that policy document, it says that Section 84 says that teaching and research shall imply objective knowledge and tolerance of opinions. They shall not be incompatible with any form of propaganda and must remain free from partisan politics and or economic influence. Now, subsection 68 went further in stating that Section 68 sub 4 states that private higher education institutions may merge or group into new institutions in accordance with the conditions set by regulations.
Exactly. So one of your the person reacting made mention of schools, a proliferation of schools in Bonaberi. I think I should make this very clear. The HND program is vast. So the HND program, the way it's structured, can give room for many campuses. Yeah, sure. You see that. That's why they don't give you university institute. When the minister comes, whether you are in an apartment, in that apartment, if you can accommodate 2 specialties, they will give you the authorization. You see that. Now the bigger vision is what? That's right. All right, you have there 2 specialties. This other man is having 2, right? You all of you are in higher institute. All right. Now the 3 or 4 of you can come up together, share the same vision, put resources together, and you become university institute. So the policy and the law give room for such partnerships. That's why I say we should not be at the point of only condemning what is happening. That's right. Now we should, if we don't read the law, you don't read the policy and understand it, you will not understand the intent of the head of state and the intent of the government. You will only stay at the level of condemning. I have read, that's why I cannot use this platform to condemn anything as far as higher education is concerned. But I made mention of the fact that it has started. We are not at its best yet, but the policies on ground are perfect. We just need to read. Founders should not go. Promoters must read. They should not just be interested to rush to Yaoundé to go and get authorization and come and open schools. And to get school fees. And then they start giving the whole system a bad name. That the government is giving schools. That is not the intention of the government. We have the tertiary sector. In the tertiary sector, there are about 50 different specialties. In the primary sector, there are about 40-something different specialties. No one institution can run all of that. So if you go there and say you want to do cookery and food hotel management, that's your own. You are this way. This man come down, he's a marketer. He say he wants to do digital marketing and human resource. That's it. They will give his authorization to run those 2 specialties. Maybe I go there, I'm an engineer, and say, okay, I need to run these 4 specialties. They will give me. But why they come down to encourage us? Say, why can't you people merge? Because that is the ultimate vision. Yes. That is what is coming. And founders should be ready. Because the state has right to take over those institutions. Yeah. I don't know what I understand. Founders should be ready. If they are sleeping, they should wake up.
Yeah. Because the state says when they come for inspection, they realize they're not done, they will set a caretaker.
They will either give a caretaker. If the situation is too bad, they will just take your children like that and give to a different school. And then they tell you that wait. When you are ready, you come again. Then we'll see whether you are ready. I don't know if you understand, because the objective is not to frustrate children. But founders, in their indiscriminate way of behaving, trying to behave like people who arrive, they can't take advice. Nobody can advise them because they have money. They are putting the life of children at risk. And if we are telling them they are giving a deaf ear, then when the government come with a hammer, they should be ready. Because at the end of the day, they are the ones who have invested, not us.
But why is it so difficult for these universities to merge?
It's greed. It's not competition.
But they're not competing.
They are not competing. If you are in hotel management and cookery, You are in a different line of business. If I am in engineering, I'm in different line. If his strength is business, it's different. It's very easy for us to mesh. And then we put our marketing resources together to make a stronger institution. That is it. But greed will not allow us. In fact, not us, them, because I think us youth we are struggling to fight that. And that is what we should learn. I made mention of the fact that China is open, and us as youth we should be thinking on merging our resources to make sure we create institutions and create companies.
Okay, this one says, good afternoon. The so-called competence-based approach question makes no difference if practicals are not done on the field for students to know what they are doing.
Sure.
At the end, the so-called competence-based approach question is still answered the same like answering theoretical question. Imagine if you are teaching students networking in computer and they have never seen a router and a switcher. Labs don't have a common network cables, and you ask students competence-based approach on how to connect a local area network. Is that not waste of time? This is coming from an anonymous sender. This other one says, hello Jarvis, good afternoon. I think these professional schools in Cameroon should be clearly distinguished to higher institute because most of these higher institutes are not reflective of the educational vision of the recent era. A common example here in Bonaberi, where you find BSc holders lecturing in these institutions. Worst of it is that they even extend to teach BSc students too, to the extent of supervising their research projects. Where are we heading to with this poor educational modeling? Notwithstanding, a few still exist whose goals are professional and research oriented. We hope things will get better someday. This is coming from Akeba, BC. And of course, that leads me to my question. I'm out of time, but that leads me to the question I want to ask you. What is the difference between university institute and higher institute?
Okay, higher institute are stipulated in the creation document of higher education are institutes that have specialized programs, you know, and they are limited.
Just in business.
Yeah, you just choose your line. You know, that's what I say. People should not be complaining that higher institutes are in apartments.
Yes.
It's in line with the vision.
Okay.
Yeah, so you may go to Ministry of Education. I have this competency. I want these two specialty. I can train, so they'll give you to train. Now, for you to become a university institute, it means that you know you can start one higher institute. After you have the need for other, you go and apply for what we call extension, right? You get extension for another field. Maybe you go down to agriculture, then maybe you manage it again well, you know, and then you find a need for health. You go back to the Minister of Higher Education, you get authorization for health. You see that? Now when you have these various authorizations now, okay, they can now put it together to give you what they call a university institute. So you put all these documents together and then apply again, requesting for a university institute. Now they will come and evaluate the performance of all the other institutes that they have given you, how it's being run, how it's managed, if it's concord, because even in that document they gave the organization of private higher institute. The state has given all, but you find an institution where one person is doing everything. The state,
the promoter must be different.
the promoter should not be involved, but you find in our country all promoters are president, all promoters are president, all promoters are president. Even the ones that have the academic background, they don't have food, they are there.
Yes.
It's not supposed to be the case according to the policy document of the head of state. So we should be saying this thing. They should know what is going on.
From that policy document state that the promoter must not be.
He becomes a member of the board of governors or board of trustees of that institution because he has been entrusted the life of youths of Cameroon.
Yes, you're right. Thank you. We're out of time. Morgan Jude is a teacher in Bonaberi at the Douala Academy of Science, Art and Science in Bonaberi, and of course he also is running extra classes there in that area. For those of you who are preparing for your GCE, you can also get to contact me. Probably I will give you his contact. Thank you very much for coming.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Jarvis. I'm so happy. In fact, it was a wonderful time that I was able to share the platform with you and my brother on the other side. I also want to use this opportunity to wish a wonderful Sunday to all my colleagues in Das College, and also my people in the Southwest region, my mom, my dad, and all the well-wishers of my Misa Prime. It has been a wonderful time, and hopefully we'll come again some other time to see how we can rub our minds together to push the nation forward.
Thank you very much for coming. Of course, Engineer Dixon.
Thank you very much.
The president, because you respect the state policy.
At the beginning, I can be the president. Yes, because a young business need monitoring. At the beginning, but believe me, as it grows, you will not see me around.
Everybody's considered their business at the beginning.
So thank you very much for having me today. I think we have not wasted this time. We have educated Cameroonians, and I hope that the promoters have listened, and all we are praying for is change, and a change that will benefit all is true. You invest your money, allow us to manage your investment. It's a win-win deal. We eat small, you have yours, and that's it.
I want to say this program comes to every Sunday at exactly 12 to 1:30, rebroadcast Sunday 10:30. If you want to be a member of the program, you can contact me on the number that was on your screen. You can contact me. I will include you into our WhatsApp group. Once the program is of your interest, we participate. Until we meet again, no matter the matter, what matters is your matter. And what should matter for you is that you should go and register for the next election. Go and register and stop complaining that nothing will change. Register, something will change. Bye-bye. My name is Tah Mai Jarvis of Cameroon's Commercial Capital. Bye-bye and au revoir, stay out of trouble.